So tell me what you're up to in the nonprofit realm.
Project Dustoff, my goodness. So this goes back to the VA days in the beginning where, they're giving so much money to these veterans. One of the first homes I did was a paraplegic, missing 2 arms, 2 legs. We made his house verbal commands, everything, lights, shades, doors, put a railing track system from his house every which way for him to get to the shower, different rooms to enjoy his life. And what I noticed real fast was that not enough money is going to things like that. 138,000 towards a veteran doing things like that. I mean, the railing system alone, you're talking $80,000, $90,000, and we haven't even opened up walls to make it accessible in the event he's in a wheelchair. So using that mindset, we've been able to just raise funds to give back to the veterans in an adaptive environment, meaning we go to their houses, find out their need, and then we turn around and make it suitable to their need, whatever it is. We've done it for the blind. We've done it for, people without legs. It's sad because to see this as a veteran myself, I hate to say it this way, man, but it's like they're forgotten. Seriously. There's so many of them out there, so many of them going through these pains. I've even taken it a step further. I've talked to my vendors, QXO, this, that, and the other, and I'm trying to raise more funds because what I want to do with Project Dustoff is get a house built a year for these veterans to donate. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate goal right now for that. And then after that, let's talk about subdivisions. What can we do to make a better impact in the world for veterans?
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Ryan Rodriguez, founder of Semper Fidelis Construction and Development, but he's a serial guy. He's not just doing one thing. He's got his hands in a few things, and he's got a nonprofit. And I'm excited to pick his brain on some of the federal stuff he's doing. He's a big proponent of not sleeping on federal contracts. It sounds like he trains people how to get those contracts. So I'm excited to kind of pick his brain. Ryan, tell us how you got started, man. Tell us about the companies.
Oh, man. So probably about 15 years ago, I actually started with different companies, restaurants, clubs, real estate, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Finally, when I got into construction is when things got interesting. Because when I got out of the Marine Corps in 2012, I was medically retired and I couldn't work with people, right? Imagine that, a Marine that can't work with people. But around 2019, I did a favor for somebody. And that favor just so happened to be someone in the VA. Long story short, next thing I know, I'm doing special adaptive housing for the VA. Had to start a company because of it, and that's the inception of Semper Fidelis Construction and Development. So very backwards, but from there we opened up to the public, then we opened up commercial, and probably about 3 years in, we did a federal contract as a super sub. We were invited. Blood facility, pretty crazy. Did that generally about 6 months-ish. Never done it before. They're like, can you do it? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's Now we dove into the federal world, and in the beginning lost a couple $100,000, but now here we are and enjoying the snowball effect, meaning just it's rolling downhill and we're loving it.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. I love that, man. Well, like of all the enterprises you have, like where are you at in overall like production, sales, revenue? I don't even know how to ask you since you got your hands in so many things.
Well, just for Semper Fidelis right now, we finished last year. It actually wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. It was just under 1.5. This first quarter, we finished at 1.2, and we've got 2.3 scheduled for second quarter. So we're looking at about anywhere between 6 and 7 this year, million.
And talk to us about the federal. You're waving the flag pretty high about the federal contracts. I hear that and I'm like, I don't want to f with federal contracts. Sounds like a pain in the butt, but it sounds like it's a real sweet spot for you. And you also are pretty open handed about helping other people acquire those types of contracts.
It's crazy because when I went through my journey, I looked for help. I sought mentorship. I called federal companies. Nobody called me back, man. Nobody wanted to help. No, it's a secret. Everybody wants to just hold that basket of eggs to themselves. And to me, it's like, no, man, this is for everybody. Everything you see in the regular world is also available in the federal world. And I'm all about teaching because the truth is you cannot, you have to give in order to receive, but you have to give with the intention of just giving. So the federal world is, it's phenomenal in my opinion. Some people hate it. We have a high tolerance for it. I'm a retired Marine. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. All I know is I've created a great team who can do it without me. And now we've expanded to Momentum Federal Construction that just supports the growth of businesses getting into the federal world.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. That's amazing. So what's the key? These contracts, the reason I wouldn't want to mess with it, I'm assuming they take forever. I'm assuming there's tons of due diligence and, security clearances and stuff like that. But like, what's the key? How do you land these deals?
Data. It's all data driven, in my opinion. So what we perfected is the system of the market. And what I mean by that is, contracts are one thing. That's always going to be terrible. You can write 20 contracts. They're all going to be different, unfortunately, because the FAR clauses. But once you start understanding who's bidding what in what area, then you start to see a pattern. You start to see who your competition is. And once you do it long enough, you start understanding the state. And then once you start digging out, because we're bidding in 8 other states right now, you start understanding, okay, maybe some of these players do play at a national level. And that it's just been a fun game to say that all of this is because we sat down, we mapped everything out with data, who's winning, what are they winning at, what do the past people win at, and then creating our own algorithm for success. And that kind of created the snowball. Again, took about 1.5 years, 2 years to perfect, to be honest with you. But once we started getting it in, again, finishing at 1.5 just under last year to $1 million in the first quarter, another 2.3 in the second. It's kind of like, it's finally all clicking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, 2 questions. What's going really well in your business right now? And what are some challenges you guys are facing?
What's going really well is, I would say, we're finally synced as a whole. And what I mean by that is in the past, we'd have the field doing great and the office wasn't doing too well. Then we had the office doing well, and then the field wasn't doing too well. Well, now it's all rolling together harmoniously. Before I used to have people wearing multiple hats. Now we've spread those hats out, hired more people. So I think everything's in sync for the overall snowball, like we said. What's not going well, in my opinion, is, man, I would just say not winning enough jobs. But that's a tough one because we were at a 68% win rate. And we were losing on some jobs, and then we dropped, we needed our profit that we needed, started getting to a 28% win rate. And when that happened, every job we win brings in the margins that we absolutely need to survive. And, you win a job, you finish a job, you could float for months after that. It just depends on what are you bidding at, how aggressive are you, and how bad do you want it? Because this isn't for the
Yep.
faint of heart.
Yep. Yep. That's a good word. Okay. Well, I can tell you have a certain way about running your business, building your team, your culture. Like, what are some unique things maybe you've learned over the course of time? It could be books you've read. It could be, people that you follow, thought leaders. Like, what are some things that you've integrated into your business from things you've learned along the way?
Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell. Holy moly, that book changed my life. I was in the hospital. They were telling me that I could either have a stroke or a heart attack. And I was like, God, I give it to you. I can't do this anymore. I was a breaking point for me in business. And when that happened, I got out of the hospital. I had to have a few days off. I really was not going to have a few days off. But anyways, I heard the audiobook multiple times, and I just made the decision I can't do this anymore. I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
I was trying to hold the cards in my hand, all of them, and you can't. It's impossible. Not if you're going to scale. And at that point, we were already over 1 million. But that book brought me my greatest hire. And that greatest hire, Rebecca Benola, I was able to lean on her, pour everything into her. And honestly, she did things better than I ever could have. So anybody out there, I'm telling you right now, if you're scared that people can't do it like you, you're right. They could probably do it better than you, because us as founders and owners, we do things differently, man. We're about wave tops. We're about growth. We're about the vision. Let everybody else do those other things. And then you got to split it up, cut it up. And then it becomes a system like I'm talking about. It's beautiful. You just got to trust and you got to commit. Culture is everything. I'm really big on the 10X, Brandon Dawson, Grant Cardone. That has been monumental for us. I've been to the Arizona events. I talk about different excerpts from the book to my team. We have a Monday meeting every Monday, regardless of what happens, meaning they will always see my face. We will always talk about core values, doing the right thing the right way for the right reasons. And, I would say books, investing in yourself is the biggest thing that most people don't do. I read, I think it was 10X. Yeah, Grant Cardone was talking about it. He said that the average CEO reads about 90 something books a year. the below average CEO, which is the majority, unfortunately, they read maybe one book a year. So the truth is if you're not pouring into yourself, everything that we say to people wouldn't help anybody if you don't have an open mind to growth. So growth is everything. Yeah. We have this thing. We're making shirts. We're making shirts grow or die. So I love it.
I love that. Okay. What were so I love that. Dan Martell, I picked up a copy of his book on the way to a mental health clinic. So it caught me at an interesting time in my life. What are some principles from Dan that you've really implemented in your business?
Trusting into the process, committing. Yeah. There was often times where I'm like, I'm going to do this. And then I give somebody responsibility, but then I'm all over them. I'm micromanaging them. And it's like, you can't do that. You have to give people enough rope to hang themselves with. End of story. And unfortunately, they'll hang themselves. That's where it comes down to you as the owner, founder, to hold people responsible, hold them accountable. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. Yeah. And oh God, there's so much good about that book. We could talk about it for hours. Love it.
He's an amazing follow on Instagram too. I mean, the stuff he puts out on AI is it's amazing.
It really is.
But okay, so let's talk about AI for a second. How are you integrating it into your business?
Oh my goodness. I'm part of the Blue Collar Millionaire group. I'm one of the elites, and
we're in like 3 different groups together, by the way. So I'm in the elite group. I'm in that same group you just mentioned. You and I have a lot of overlap. That's really rare when I have people on the show. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's nuts. Yeah, no. We talk about AI at least once a month. It's so Claude trying to implement that. I'm sorry. When I say implement, I mean use it as a tool, because we got to remember things here that it's, even though it is a great system because it does things that's crazy. You can automate so many things in your life and make your life easy. You can even duplicate yourself. But again, it doesn't replace people, right? It's like a fact check per se, but we haven't full blown implemented into the company. We're still in testing phase to make sure that it even works for us the way we do it. Because in federal construction, sure, you could probably get it to review contracts, things like that. But when it comes to the relationships, a lot of our conversations are with the engineers. You can't replicate those types of things, in my opinion.
Yeah. I love that. Well, you are an excitable guy. You got a lot going on. I don't think we've talked about your nonprofit stuff today. Let's talk about that for a little bit. So tell me what you're up to in the nonprofit realm.
Project Dustoff, my goodness. So this goes back to the VA days in the beginning where, they're giving so much money to these veterans. One of the first homes I did was a paraplegic, missing 2 arms, 2 legs. We made his house uh, verbal commands, everything, lights, shades, doors. We put a railing track system from his house every which way for him to get to the shower, different rooms to enjoy his life. And what I noticed real fast was that not enough money is going to things like that. 138,000 towards a veteran doing things like that. I mean, the railing system alone, you're talking $80,000, $90,000, and we haven't even opened up walls to make it accessible in the event he's in a wheelchair. So, using that mindset, we've been able to just raise funds to give back to the veterans in an adaptive environment, meaning we go to their houses, find out their need, and then we turn around and make it suitable to their need, whatever it is. We've done it for the blind. We've done it for, people without legs. It's sad because to see this as a veteran myself, I hate to say it this way, man, but it's like they're forgotten. Seriously. There's so many of them out there, so many of them going through these pains. I've even taken it a step further. I've talked to my vendors, QXO, this, that, and the other, and I'm trying to raise more funds because what I want to do with Project Dustoff is get a house built a year for these veterans to donate. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate goal right now for that. And then after that, let's talk about subdivisions. What can we do to make a better impact in the world for veterans?
Yeah, I love that. Is there anything we haven't talked about today, Ryan, that gets you fired up?
Oh man, life gets me fired up. Getting in the morning gets me fired up. I don't even know what to say because it's business in general gets me excited. Like if you were to chat with me outside of this podcast, if we're not talking business, man, I'm like, I look like I need a coffee or something. I don't know what it is. It's just an addiction. And I'm so grateful for the things in my life, especially with my people. I just want to train more people. We're starting up a Facebook group for federal, similar to a mastermind, but ultimately just diving into the federal world, training the contracts, training every little faucet that you could think of in the federal world, things that y'all don't even know about. That's going to be coming here shortly, working on the name as we speak, but it's for everybody, like I said, which is oil companies that, change oil, change tires, restaurants, all that is applicable in the federal world. So that's coming soon. Would love to have everybody out there. Check it out. Most people, they're like, hey, it's not for me. Yeah, it is. You just haven't seen it yet. And once you see it, I mean, even right now, that first month of momentum, the goal was 100K. I mean, we just passed the halfway mark on that. And we haven't even launched. We're just at a soft launch. So it's, come check it out. Come see what we have to offer and get ready to have your mind blown.
I love that. Well, that's a great point to give people some links and things. So where can people go if they want to find out more?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. ChooseMFS.com will get you to the Momentum Federal site. Even Semper Fidelis Construction.com will get you the links that you need to for Momentum, for Project Dustoff. Everything's linked together. And let's have a conversation. On that ChooseMFS.com site, there's a contact card where you can schedule meetings with me or my team, and we can just talk about whatever it is that's on your mind for business. Yes, we're federal, but I'll tell you this, after doing federal and going back, doing some commercial, even some residential, I mean, we've closed it out now, but everything is easy after you do federal. I was chatting with this gentleman the other day, 23 years old. He's in the mechanical field, and it's like, dude, stop. Don't even do these jobs in the real world. Get into federal. Do a few jobs, get used to that tempo and how the paperwork is and the contracts. And from there, you're going to be a rock star if you decide to go back to commercial or residential. It just makes everything that much easier. Systematic approach. That's what it teaches you in federal.
Yeah, I love that. And then is there any other sites or things where people want to check out your stuff, they can go?
ProjectDustoff.org. I mean, that's a big one for the donations. We do need people that want to help with these projects. It is volunteer based. We do use some people from Semper Fidelis to help lead and facilitate. But aside from that, no, I mean, there's nothing else. So
I love that, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks so much for coming on the show.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Andrew.